was on the younger side and had only been working in the field for a few years, but she seemed to know what she was doing and actually listened to me. I told her a lot of stuff and experiences in my life up to that point, but I mostly veered away from the topic of the expanse. I wasn't trying to get myself committed. I don't really know how that whole thing works anyways. Just feels like the more I went into it, the better chance I would have of her thinking I was legitimately insane. Hyperbole aside though, I just thought it would be better for the both of us if I didn't bring it up much. That is, until one day she insisted that I talk about it. She wasn't authoritative necessarily, but said everything she could to guarantee I would feel okay with going into details about it. After all, me trying to tell others about it is why I was here in the first place. Alex, you can trust me. I'm here to help you, not judge you. If I was, then I wouldn't be in this chair, she said softly, leaning forward in her chair and looking at me with almost maternal instinct. I won't force you to talk about anything, but I promise you, you don't have to feel like a prisoner in your own mind. I'll bet I can relate a lot more than you might think. I perked up upon hearing that last sentence, my eyes shifting in her direction with a look of intrigue and curiosity. She returned the eye contact before delivering a slight smirk, confirming her implication. You're not serious, I accused. Listen, I get you wanna help me, but you don't have to lie to do it. Well, this isn't necessarily the most professional of me, and I really shouldn't say this, but that place you're talking about, it's not as insane as you might think. I believe your story and every word of it. She continues, suddenly stopping her hand gesture as she waits for my response. I really don't appreciate you making a joke out of my experience, I snarled. You're supposed to be helping me. You're supposed to be different than all the other people who won't listen and ridicule me. I'm nothing but a punchline to everyone, even before any of this happened. After my little fit, I then got up out of my chair and began to walk to the door, only to be stopped once she announced something that made my heartbeat nearly cease upon hearing it. The thing with all the legs, came her calm assertion. I turned, looking over to her with wide eyes and mouth slightly ajar. I had never told her about the creature, not once. In fact, I hadn't told anyone about it, let alone any of its anatomical features. So I stood there, looking like a complete moron while she got out of her chair and approached me, taking a quick glance to her left at a long curtain on the side of the room with no windows, and then directly back at me. It tried to kill you, didn't it? She inquired, rhetorically. It tried to kill me too. Still, I stood there stunned, not even knowing how to form words for a response. Alex, you gotta believe me. I'm sorry if you thought I was trying to discredit you. That wasn't my intention. But I know what you're talking about. And I know you're not the only person who's gone through this. Now, will you please sit and finish our session? I don't want you leaving this room upset. She kept her gaze locked hard on me, and I took a deep breath, internally kicking myself for not keeping my cool when I had always been a person who prided myself on doing just that. So with a bit of hesitance, I turned and headed back over to my chair, sitting back down and cupping my hands together as I waited for her to continue speaking. How did you get in? How did you get there? She asked, a sympathetic undertone weird. I've only seen things like this in video games. This didn't seem to shock her, not in the slightest. Instead, she only nodded slightly while staying silent, allowing me to elaborate. My parents wouldn't listen to me. I tried telling them about it, but they never wanted to hear it. All I know is that I wanted some proof, so I could show someone. Someone who would do something about it, or at least someone who would believe me. How did you feel while you were in there? She asked, prompting me to take another several seconds of silence as I thought of my reply. I really don't know how to explain it. It's not a feeling you can describe. I don't think anyone's ever felt it. Besides you. Is there any chance you could tell me about what you saw in the walls? I solicit, only to prompt a look of hesitance from Tiffany. This is about you, Alex, not me. I'm here to hear your story, not to tell you mine. She rebuts, cupping her hands together. I know you are, but I want to hear yours. Maybe, just maybe, it'll help me be able to find some closure with mine. I fire back, more insistent than previously. I just want to know there's someone else there with. I just want to know there's someone else out there who understands. Tiffany exhaled, looking to both her right and her left, only to return her gaze back over to me, as silence swallows the room. I knew that in the back of her mind, she did want to tell me that despite her training and education, she was still human at the end of the day. Screw protocols, screw procedures, screw all of it. Just please tell me, I beg, leaning forward in anticipation. Tiffany keeps an eye contact with me, still appearing unsure about her next move. I widen my eyes and let her know just how desperate I was to hear about her experience. Okay, she sighed, still hesitant. It was my birthday, and my mom had invited several of my friends over to the house to celebrate. My dad had taken me out to the shed in our backyard so he could grab tools to finish working on my birthday present. He refused to tell me what it was until it was finished. You see, my dad never really let me into the shed very much. Not unless I was close to him. Said he didn't want me messing up with grown-up stuff in there. Stuff that could hurt me. She paused, allowing me to interject with a question. What was your dad's job? I inquire, surprisingly prompting her to smile. He was a carpenter. He was always good with his hands. Tiffany trails off, an expression of guilt creeping onto her face. Alex, are you sure you want me to do this? It just doesn't feel right. Yes, I need this. Okay, well, we went into the shed, and it was a very small shed, could barely fit 3 people inside there at once. And yet there was a door on the opposite end of the entrance door. It looked like it would lead you somewhere in the back of the shed, but there wasn't any more physical structure behind it to give the door a real purpose for being there. It was about as pointless the shed. I made sure to not wake my dad up, not even sure how long I would have gotten grounded for if I ended up getting caught. I make it to the shed, regardless, and walk over to the door, and with the only other sound in the immediate area being crickets, I was able to hear something on the other side of it, which logically should have just been more crickets. But it wasn't. Instead, it sounded like electricity buzzing, if that even makes any sense. Like the buzzing of ceiling lights. Even at that age, I knew that something wasn't right. I recognized the sound from the lights in my school at the time, and I knew there was no reason for me to be hearing it coming from there. I let my curiosity get the best of me, as a lot of kids do. So I opened that door, and God, I just want to kick myself for even saying that now. But I opened the door, and there it was, the expanse. I remember it just like how you described it. Ugly yellow walls, a damp and old-looking carpet, and the buzzing. Oh, the buzzing. It was twice as loud now that I'd opened the door. I didn't know what to think. I knew that I was scared. Part of me was anyway, but I was mainly in shock. This wasn't possible. I had only seen things like this happening in the cartoons and movies I watched. I told myself I wouldn't go that far, that I would only take a few steps inside just to see what the place was, and to make sure it wasn't just my imagination, that I was just dreaming. At first, I honored what I told myself. I only took 3 steps inside before staring at the empty hallway in front of me. The fluorescent lights flickering above only helped to unease me, but my curiosity was overpowering my gut feeling. The feeling that something was wrong, and not just with what I could see. I finally began listening to my instincts at that point, because it wasn't long before I decided it was really time to go, and that I had already overstayed my welcome. When I turned around to go back the way I came, I saw nothing. Just a flat, ugly yellow wall like the rest of them. Any sign of the door being there just up and vanished. I went up to the wall, pushed on it with all my weight, threw myself against it over and over, thinking I'd get some sort of different outcome. But no, I was just a scared little girl trapped in a place I knew nothing about. I banged on the wall and yelled as loud as I could for my parents. It wasn't long before I started to cry in a desperate panic. All I did was stand there, continuously throwing my fist on the wall over and over and over, and begging for my parents to come save me from this place. And it wasn't long before something heard me. Something that knew I was invading its territory. I heard it screech when it was coming for me. It was awful. Don't think I've ever heard anything more horrific than the sound that thing made. It was like someone had put a screaming baby on a distorted megaphone. So I did the only thing I could do at the time. I ran as fast as I could to the right because the screeching was coming from the left. It felt like, I don't know, like I wasn't even moving. I just passed yellow wall after yellow wall. I knew in the back of my mind I was going somewhere, but the rest of me felt deceived. It looked endless and maddening. Eventually I came to a stop, feeling like I put enough distance between myself and whatever it was that had been pursuing me. What I felt wasn't just fear. This wasn't looking down a dark flight of stairs or a creepy basement or seeing a spider in your room. No, this was an existential, on a level I can't put into concrete wording. I still hadn't seen the thing, not up to that point, so I went and hid behind a wall. Placed my back against it so softly I couldn't even tell if I had actually made contact with it. It was around 10 seconds when I was able to work up the courage to peek my head over the edge of the wall. I was shaking, holding in sniffles, had silent tears going down my face. I didn't dare make a sound. I couldn't afford to. At first, there was nothing. It kinda looked like something out of one of those old playhouses from the 2000s. Just cold, empty, no life present at all. It was uncanny. Tiffany pauses, inhaling and shifting her gaze over towards that curtain once more, prompting me to finally point it out. "What's going on with that?" I asked as politely as I could. "Oh, nothing important, just more wall," she laughed off dismissively. For the first time since she started the story, I felt a bit uncomfortable, but I mainly chalked it up to her being invested in what she was saying, so I went back to just listening. There I was, staring down the yellow void, until I hear it screech again, as around the corner, all the way down the hall, and spots me peeking. I knew it saw me because we both froze for a second. It's like it wanted me to know that it knew I was there, and that my fate was sealed. And those legs, God, those legs, they all moved in this grotesquely perfect unison as it started running towards me. So I turned and bolted, hugging the wall to my left, which was a dead end. Just my luck. Did I mention I don't like spiders? Or really anything with more than 4 legs for that matter. So it wasn't exactly on my bucket list to encounter a man-sized, mutated centipede. Didn't think my little legs could carry me so far and so fast. Everything around me was a blur, like I was on a high-speed rail train or something. But it still wasn't enough. That thing was hot on my tail, and there was a small part of me that knew I couldn't outrun it. I pulled away from the wall to my left, took some turns to try and confuse it, but I knew it knew what I was doing. Probably because everyone who ran from it before tried the same thing and failed. God have mercy on them. I knew it was closing in on me when its footstep got louder. Death was practically knocking at my door. I still remember how it sounded when it ran. Makes my skin crawl to this day. The yellow walls, the buzz of the lights, the old moist carpet. It made it that much worse, knowing I was probably going to die young in such an alien environment. I wasn't getting out. Not alive anyway. Or so I thought. She trailed off. "You said the wall in your basement was how you entered it, right? The expanse?" she inquires, catching me off guard with a sudden question. "Yes," I trail off, unsure of what to say next. "Why didn't you try to show anyone?" "My parents, they built a wall of wood panels in front of it. Told me they were tired of my ghost stories and my obsession with that damn wall. So they said they'd get it out of my sight and out of my mind. I think they know there's something wrong with it, kinda like how your dad did. But they didn't want me messing with the things I don't understand, or they just didn't want our house to become a government research site. Both seem just as likely. I wish they would at least acknowledge my story as true. Their own son went to this horrific place, survived being attacked by a dangerous monster, and they just pretend like I'm crazy, that I'm just desperate for attention. I hate it. And I almost hate them for it, but they've raised me, fed me, and given me shelter. Maybe one day they'll come to their senses. that morning. I hadn't seen her look at me like that before now. I didn't like it. It was unsettling, especially considering the gravity and context of what I had just said. Why don't you finish telling me about your experience? We're kinda getting off topic, don't you think? I interject, hoping that she would agree. It's about as straightforward as a situation like that could be. I was running from something that I truly couldn't escape in a place I was never meant to be. Eventually, after going for so long, my lungs began to give out. I simply couldn't muster the strength or energy to run anymore, even though I had no choice. And I think that was the worst part of it all, knowing that I couldn't even do the bare minimum of running away to save myself. Sure as hell wasn't gonna try and fight that thing. Soon enough, I came to a dead end, boxed in by walls on either side of me, and the creature behind me. I somehow mustered the courage to turn around as it closed in. Could have sworn it had even tried to smile at me before it prepared to kill me, like it knew what it was doing, and was going to make me suffer, and that it was going to take pleasure in the agony of my slow, painful death. But something in me snapped, and I honestly shocked myself when this sudden shouting roar emerged from within me, and I directed it right at the creature. I thought it would be completely pointless, but to my surprise, it hesitated, like it was caught off guard by a violent outburst of what I saw as a prey. Leave me alone, you stupid, ugly monster, I shouted while flailing my arms. I noticed that it had been taken aback, and I wanted to keep it that way. You are stupid, weird, and ugly monster, I continued screaming, baring my teeth to make myself look less docile. It wasn't long before the beast had realized I was really in control, so I began crawling forward again, despite me throwing my various insults at it. I was desperate, saying every nasty thing I could think of as it closed the distance. But like I said, my dominance was short-lived. I wasn't in control any longer. So I tried something else. I proposed a deal to it. Tiffany then pauses, not even making a sound as she looked at the floor with the mannerism that almost resembled guilt. What did you offer it? I grilled demandingly. That's not important, but what is that it spoke to me, told me it was hungry in this gross, hoarse and nightmarish voice, like an elderly smoker had his throat filled with thick syrup. I didn't know something that alien could even possess the abilities to speak in the first place. Its voice really contrasts with all those horrible screeches it makes. I'll tell you that, but I eventually made it out, found a wall that was darker than the rest and fell right through. Ended right back up in. Whoa, wait, what did you offer it? I said, less patience present in my tone. And don't say it's not important. I want to know why I let you live. But Tiffany couldn't respond out loud. Instead, she goes looking at the freaking curtain again, giving it an intriguing stare before standing up out of her chair, moving towards it. That's when I decided it was time to leave. I think this session is over. I pronounced as firmly as I could at the time, only for her entire demeanor to shift once the words left my mouth. I stood up, attempting to go over and grab my cell phone from her table. Sit, she snarled, giving me a look that said she was not in any mood to argue. Tell me what you offered. I erupted, my voice echoing off the walls. She didn't respond yet again, prompting me to lunge for the door. I got my hand on the knob and fumbling, turning it, so I threw it on there again, I'll just put a bullet in each of your knees and then throw in there. So your fate is up to you. Do you want to die slow and painfully, or have a chance of running away for a while? I put my hand up, slowly turn around, and right there is the sight of Tiffany standing next to the curtain, with the clock in her right hand pointed directly at me. Good, she muttered, just before reaching with her free hand to grab the edge of the curtain and yank it to the side. To be continued. Sorry for the cliffhanger. I hope you guys like the story so far. I think it's really interesting, and also the new format that I'm trying out. I've learned to delete the background just like this, and then I can change the background like this, and this, and this.